that I use. This costs about £8,000.
£8,000? And how long would that last you?
This will do about 50 cars.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Again.
This is a Bugatti Veyron.
I've never seen one of those live.
This is a £1 million car. However, this is relatively cheap compared to some of the cars I've worked on.
Really?
Yeah. Some of the cars I've worked on, you could buy 10 of these.
How much do you charge?
Oh, no, this one, the 50-hour one, will be about £3,500.
£3,500 to wash your car?
Yeah.
What is it that makes it so expensive, is it?
Quite a few of the things. The time it takes, the chemicals we use are expensive, and also we check the work on a micro level, so when we're removing the fine scratches, make sure you don't remove too much, because if you remove too much, then you've damaged the car and then you have to respray it. And to respray this car will cost close to £100,000. So it's not really something you want to mess up.
Wow. All right, so one of our Alpha 8 players, Sam Trickett, pretty sure he owns a Ferrari. If he was to bring it down here, what would that cost?
Well, I would do him a really good deal, so £50.
£50?
That's cheap.
Bargain! Bring my car down.
Yeah.
£50 is just for the estimate. Now the work, that's a whole nother story. As we look at the chip counts, you see current leader Tobias Rankenmeyer with almost $500,000 in front of him. Max Altergott on the short stack with 116,000. Meanwhile, Richard Young with ace queen offsuit has 277,000, and he's put 12 of those into the middle. Good for a min raise. Action on Scott Seaver with 6-7 suited. He looks like he's got an idea here.
Scott, having recently doubled up, probably feels flush with chips.
And he's going to put 28,000 of them out there, 3-betting. Trying to isolate the amateur?
Trying to isolate the amateur, along with, the hand might, from Scott's point of view, might be a little bit too weak to call with, so instead he decides to 3-bet, giving himself the additional fold equity.
He's heads up in position, heading to the flop, and that flop, ace, queen, 4, Young with top 2 pair. He checks it over to Scott. And Seaver with 69,000 in the middle is going to continuation bet.
Scott has 2 backdoor draws, backdoor straight and backdoor flush draws, not to mention this flop is going to hit a big part of the range that Scott normally is 3-betting with.
Betting a call of 25,000. The turn is an 8.
I like Richard just checking and calling on the flop. It disguises the strength of his hand, along with allowing him to play a slightly weaker hand in the same way.
Both players check, and the river, a deuce. Young bets 100,000.
After Scott checks the turn, Richard just trying to go for value with top 2 pair. Unfortunately for him, Scott with just 7 high, not much he can do.
You would have satisfied my thirst.
Actions on Igor.
Date overnight.
Igor folds. Action on Tony G.
There's other forms of pain too, right?
Of course, I mean, I've...
Lays it down.
Obviously.
Scott Seaver, and Scott looks at
Probably had
king-queen
more pain than you
offsuit
have.
and raises it up again, this time to 12,000 once more.
Philip on the button with queen-jack suited. If it was offsuit, he might consider 3-betting, but instead just calling.
Scott picks up a call from Richard Young's ace-7 suited. Max Altergott in there as well with king-jack offsuit.
A lot of these players sharing cards.
4-way action heading to the flop. King, ace, 10 with 2 clubs. Fun for everyone.
Philip Gruesome flopping a straight, and everyone else having at least some part of this flop.
Young checks his aces.
Scott Seaver, the original razor pre-flop, flopping pair and a gut shot, deciding, hoping for a free card, but Philip